Welcome into Turner Gymnasium on Wayne Proffitt Court for a battle of Game 3 of the Wayne Proffitt Classic between Pfeiffer University and Hampton-Sydney. Welcome in high atop Wayne Proffitt Court. I'm Anthony McAvoy with you today for this game, and it's a battle between two teams that are 0-2 and also a battle between two teams who had big leads in yesterday's games and ended up eventually falling. For Hampton-Sydney, they had an 11-point lead going into halftime, and turnovers really bit them in the butt in the second half, allowing Methodist to come back for a 74-69 win. For Pfeiffer, on the other hand, they had a 30-13 lead in the first half against Lynchburg, and that's when Theron Suggs decided to start going off. He ended up dropping 50 points in that game last night against Hampton-Sydney, for Lynchburg coming back for a 91-80 win. So let's go ahead and take a look at these two teams by the numbers. As you see them there, virtually a lot in the same, a lot in different, but points per game huge in this one. Pfeiffer averaging 70.5 and Hampton-Sydney averaging 69.5. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, starters and players to watch and tip-off here in Lynchburg, Virginia.
I'm Matt Newton, assistant women's soccer coach, and you're watching LHSN.
Through the whole application process, Dr. Bradney was really helpful about getting me through the process and everything like that. So it made it super easy to make a decision to come here to Lynchburg, and I've loved it ever since. Some of my favorite things are just how hands-on the classes are and just being able to do things with my classmates and ask my professors any questions and just go into clinicals and how hands-on it is there as well. They're always around, so it's not like they're strangers or anything like that, and they always just say that their office is open just to come by and even chat about life or anything else going on. And it doesn't even have to be school related, so they're kind of just there as mentors and teachers as well, so it's kind of really nice to be able to work with them in that way rather than just as seeing them as teachers.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the starters for today. First for Pfeiffer, Josiah Avington, Sean Scott, Jamal David, and Gabe Miller, along with Craig Saab. On the other end, we have Ryan Clements, Kevin Quinn, Chase Johnson, Jack Wyatt, and Jake Hahn for Hampton-Sydney. Let's go ahead and take a look at our players to watch. For Pfeiffer, you're going to take a look at Jamal David. David in the game yesterday, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. Had a very good game, 7 for 21 from the field, 5 for 13 from 3. For Hampton-Sydney, it's again Jack Wyatt, who in the game yesterday, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 2 steals and assists, 3 blocks, 5 for 10 from the field. Hampton-Sydney wins the tip. They get the first possession of the game. This is Chase Johnson. Clements down to Hahn, who's going to drive into the lane, and then he's going to score. Very quick 2 points. In the Hampton-Sydney game yesterday, we waited 2.5 minutes for the first points of the ball game. Now we are sitting 30 seconds in with 2 points. That's off the board. Rebound here for Hampton-Sydney. Down the floor they go. This is Chase Johnson at the Hornet on Wayne Proffitt court. Over to Clements, double team very quickly. Over to Johnson, finds Quinn in the corner. Gives it back to Johnson. He fakes, then drives. Bounce pass down to Hahn. He dribbles in, up and in. 4 points quickly for Jake Hahn. It's a Saab over to Miller. Miller's going to drive, try to draw contact off of Johnson. It doesn't work. That's a rebound by Clements. This is Quinn. Stolen very quickly by Sean Scott. And now this is Saab on the other end of the court, going to take it himself, coast to coast. Saab in the game yesterday, 13 points. One of only 3 Falcons in double digits in that game against Lynchburg. Clements down to Hahn, back to Clements, but a turnover for the Tigers. This is David. David tried to drive, but Quinn gets in the way, and Quinn draws the foul. First foul for Quinn. 1 foul for him yesterday. Like we said, Jamal David, 23 points yesterday. He was perfect from the charity stripe, and he starts today perfect again for his first point of the ball game. This to tie it. That's in. Number 4 ties it at 4. Now Hahn has to get it in. Pfeiffer playing tough on the inbounds, and they end up picking it up. And that's a 3 from Abington. That's off the back iron. Hampton-Sydney gets the rebound. Johnson will bring it down the court. This is over to Clements. Back to Johnson. He's going to take a 3, and that's in. Chase Johnson, the senior from Richmond, with the first 3 of the ball game. This is over to David. Can he answer? Off the backboard, or off the rim, I'm sorry, but Sean Scott collects the rebound and 1 for the foul. So very quickly, Sean Scott can answer. Scott yesterday 6 points in the game. This is Baker Haviland checking in, as well as Cole Atwood for the Tigers. Scott was 2 for 2 from the free throw line yesterday, 0 for 1 to start in this one. This is Johnson. They're going to say that there was an elbow on Johnson, and that's an offensive foul. Abington making it difficult there, and Chase Johnson picks up his first foul. So it'll be Abington to inbound it. This is Miller. Over to David. Back to Abington. Thought about taking it, takes a step and then takes it, but that's off the mark. But Miller collects the rebound. Hampton-Sydney already with 4 fouls. Chase Johnson now. 2 personal fouls in the first about 3 minutes of the ball game. So you have to think he will be sitting out for a very considerable amount of time. To replace him is Chingun Ganbold. This is Saab hitting the little fadeaway shot. Pfeiffer takes an 8-7 lead. This is Ganbold now. Not making it easy on Ganbold is David, and he's going to collect a foul. His first of the game, Pfeiffer's first of the game, and a hockey line change here as there are 5 new players on the court for Pfeiffer. Juwan Blanton, Ty Simmons. Diaz Mungro, Reagan Larson, as well as Jordan Bird. That's the 5 for Pfeiffer. Jack Hahn giving it to Clements. That's off the back iron. And that's going to go off on Haviland. So Pfeiffer will take over. This will be Mungro inbounding it. Jack Wyatt comes back in for Jay Kahn. This is Juwan Blanton. Over to Mungro. Ty Simmons thought about taking it. Can he do it again? He does take it this time off the front of the rim. And Ryan Clements comes up with the rebound, and he dunks it down. Mungro was there the whole time. And then Clements took it anyway. And then Clements comes down the other end of the court and gets a blocking foul. His first of the game, Hampden-Sydney's 5th. One foul away from being in the bonus already. We're only 5 minutes in. An offensive foul. Offensive foul there by Jordan Bird. His first. This is over to Atwood, catches it one-handed and then takes the 3 off the mark. Bird with the rebound. Now, down the other side is Blanton. This is Simmons, tried to get it to Bird, knocked away. Mungro finding some space, and there's a block there by Clements. That's also going to be his second. So very quickly, Hampton-Sydney in foul trouble. Hampton-Sydney 6 fouls. Their 2 top guards, Chase Thompson and now Ryan Clemens, now 2 fouls apiece. This is Mungro. He hits that one to tie it. So now Kevin Quinn comes in, as well as Tyler Thomas. We didn't see Thomas at all in the game yesterday. In fact, we only saw 3 players off the Hampton-Sydney bench, and that was Cole Atwood, Chingun Ganbold, and Baker Haviland. This is Haviland over to Thomas. The press is on for Pfeiffer. And there you see Larson breaking it up, but then immediately Quinn breaking it up, giving it to Atwood, who gives it back to Quinn. This is over to Haviland. Back to Atwood, over to Quinn in the corner. Nowhere to go. This is Atwood taking a 3, and that's in. Hampton-Sydney back on top, 12-10. This is Simmons. He's going to drive in the lane, takes a spin, and then almost to Wyatt, but a 3 taken by Bird off the mark. And now Hampton-Sydney comes down on the other end, trying to extend their lead. And as you see, a whole new bunch about to come in for Pfeiffer. That's out of play off of Pfeiffer, off of Hampton-Sydney, and there's the new 5. There you see Caleb Kimbrough, his first season as the head coach. He is the 19th coach in Hampton-Sydney history. This is DJ Bradshear. Down now, this is over to Jerome Savoy. Savoy gonna go in on Thomas and gets that to clank in. Thomas is going to take it. He's being guarded by Talon Rowe. Thomas over to Atwood. He's got space. Can he hit it again? He can't. And now here comes Savoy. Pfeiffer with numbers. This is a three off the mark taken by Dudley. And that's a rebound for Quinn. Coach Kimbrough awarded with a warning. Came out of the box, it looked like he thought Quinn was fouled. He came out of the box and onto the floor. Awarded a warning. So already things getting testy here in game 3 of the Schellenberger Classic. This is Hahn. Down low to Wyatt. Can he turn? There's a foul there. That's Daniel Rivera, who grabbed the arm of Jack Wyatt, didn't allow him to even try and take the shot. For Pfeiffer, that's their third team foul, Rivera's first. In the game yesterday, Jack Wyatt 9 for 12 from the free throw line. 1 for 1 today. This is Chase Turner, the freshman from Virginia Beach, checking in for Hampton-Sydney. There you see head coach Pete Shuck, his second season. He was the former associate head coach and assistant coach. And throughout the program, he's been called a great recruiter and an outstanding basketball mind. And there's Brad Shear missing that shot. And Talon Rowe was the closest one to it. And this will be the first media timeout, so while they take a break, we're also going to take one here on LHSN.
I'm Matt Newton, assistant women's soccer coach, and you're watching LHSN.
Through the whole application process, Dr. Bradney was really helpful about getting me through the process and everything like that, so it made it super easy to make a decision to come here to Lynchburg, and I've loved it ever since. Some of my favorite things are just how hands-on the classes are and just being able to do things with my classmates and ask my professors any questions and just go into clinicals and how hands-on it is there as well. They're always around, so it's not like they're strangers or anything like that, and they always just say that their office is open just to come by and even chat about life or anything else going on. It doesn't even have to be school related, so they're kind of just there as mentors and teachers as well, so it's kind of really nice to be able to work with them in that way rather than just as seeing them as teachers.
Welcome back. There you see Pfeiffer's huddle right there. See Jamal David taking a seat. Pete Shuck and his team right now down 14-12. You see Coach Kimbrough right there, just on your screen, but Coach Kimbrough now with a warning on thin ice. Right before we left, he was awarded a warning for leaving his box. Now this is over to Tyler Thomas. Thomas, again, didn't see action yesterday, and neither did number 21, who's on the floor, Chase Turner, mostly because Clemens and Johnson stayed out of foul trouble, and now early on, they've already got 2. This is Quinn from the corner. That's out of play. Savoy watching it go out. Savoy, the junior from Waldorf, Maryland. This is Rivera getting in very easily, but not being able to convert. Wyatt with the rebound. This is Quinn. Thomas down to Hahn. This is Wyatt being guarded by Savoy, making it look easy. 2 points for Jack Wyatt, the sophomore. 4 points now, 2 points right there. Hampton Sydney extends their lead 16-12. And that's going to be a foul there on Tyler Thomas. Getting in the face of DJ Bradshear as he was trying to drive in. So now shooting a 1-and-1 is Bradshear. And for Bradshear, %60 from the free throw line. Baker Haviland checks in for Jay Kahn. One and one here for DJ Bradshear. Misses the first one, rebound by Wyatt. This is Turner. Over to Thomas, to Wyatt. He was open for a second. Pass down to Haviland off the mark. This is Rowe. Rowe over to Savoy. Savoy's going to take it off the front iron and rebounded by Chase Turner. Turner over to Quinn, over to Wyatt. He had Thomas wide open in the corner for three. Thomas still calling for it. This is Quinn, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Quinn gonna take it off the mark. Thomas right there gets the rebound and put it in. If you ask Quinn, he's gonna say it was a pass. This is over to Bradshear, 18-12, Hampton-Sydney. Over to Savoy. Savoy gonna put the spin cycle on Quinn. Can he convert? Yes, he can. For Savoy, he's got 4 points. 5 more players about to come in for Pfeiffer, but not before Savoy tries to dunk it, but I don't know if that technically counts. Savoy already with 6. My cameraman telling me it didn't count, so that is a layup. This is over to Quinn, to Wyatt. Bradshear not making it easy on it. This is Rowe down the other side. And that's going to be an offensive foul, a charge. Great job by Tyler Thomas getting his feet set. Checking in is the starting 5, Josiah Abington, Sean Scott, Jamal David, Gabe Miller, and Craig Sauvage. Take a look right there. Great job by Thomas getting his feet set. And this is Ganbold who checked in. This is also Casey Atwood. Cole Atwood, I apologize. This is Ganbold over to Quinn, over to Atwood. Haviland over to Hahn. And a jump ball awarded. Pfeiffer's going to take possession. So this starting 5 as now with 9:40 to go, Chase Johnson is going to re-enter the game. Quinn steps off. You have to begin to wonder if Clements is going to step back in anytime soon, but both of those players are on thin ice. 2 fouls already for Clements and Johnson, the starting guards. As you see Saab get to the rack here. Saab's got 6. On the other side, Chase Johnson, 3 points, 2 fouls. He's being guarded closely by Gabe Miller. Gives it down to Haviland, who gives it right back to Johnson. Trying to set up an offense. Has Ganbold open. Ganbold, if it was a better pass, maybe had been able to take it, but Hahn is going to take that off the rim. Atwood saves it. Hahn gets it back. Ganbold, takes the 3 and hits it. Messy play by Hampton-Sydney, but nevertheless still 3 points there. This is Saab. Thought about taking it, drives in, can't find any opening. Abington thought about taking it as well. Back out to Saab, over to Miller. This is David. Jamal David That looks like it's going to be a foul on Atwood on the shot. His first foul, 8 in total for Hampton-Sydney, still in the bonus. David hit both of the free throws yesterday. As you see, a good angle of it here. Atwood just getting all of that arm right there, affecting the shot. Third free throw from David is good, so he now has 3 points. Coming in is Jack Wyatt, stepping in for Haviland. As you see, Abington having a talk with head coach Pete Shuck. And David, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. And now Pfeiffer within a point of Hampton-Sydney. Miller playing very close to Johnson, I'm sorry, and this is Saab. That's a dunk! And a timeout! (22-21), a full timeout. We're going to take a break here on LHSN.
Here's to life and here's to Lynchburg, to the years we spent together. I don't know when or how we gathered, but I know I'm home.
Through the whole application process, Dr. Bradney was really helpful about getting me through the process and everything like that, so it made it super easy to make a decision to come here to Lynchburg, and I've loved it ever since. Some of my favorite things are just how hands-on the classes are and just being able to do things with my classmates and ask my professors any questions and just go into clinicals and how hands-on it is there as well. They're always around, so it's not like they're strangers or anything like that, and they always just say that their office is open just to come by and even chat about life or anything else going on, and it doesn't even have to be school related, so they're kind of just there as mentors and teachers as well, so it's kind of really nice to be able to work with them in that way rather than just as seeing them as teachers.
Welcome back. There you see some fans for this early action. Coming up at halftime, the classic schedule, who is Wayne Proffitt, and then some at the break numbers. You only get that from our halftime show, so be sure to stick around for that. This is Ganbold now. He hit the 3 just a second ago, but they're going to say that Abington got a hold of him. There was a little bit of contact there, but they're going to give it to Abington. That's going to go off of Miller, trying to get it to Johnson, playing very quickly, or being played very close by Miller. Now Saab switches onto him, and quickly Miller back on him. Not allowing Thompson to do anything in the game, but that's a quick steal. Sean Scott going to get there, and now a 3-point lead for the Falcons. This is Ganbold. The press still on for Pfeiffer. 3 seconds to get across half court. They do. Pfeiffer making it very difficult for Hampton-Sydney to do anything, and a good find there. Johnson to Wyatt. Wyatt already 6 points here. This is Saab getting into the lane, finding David, thought about taking it, crosses up, out to Miller for 3, and that's in. So quickly, Pfeiffer finding a groove. Ganbold, Johnson, and Atwood have checked out. Thomas, Quinn, and Turner check in. This is Turner trying to find somebody to pass to. Pfeiffer making it so difficult for that backcourt of Hampton-Sydney. As you'll see, the second line come in for Pfeiffer. That line being Ty Simmons, Jerome Savoy, Taylon Rowe, Daniel Rivera, as well as DJ Bradshear. As you saw the bucket there by Wyatt, that's 8 points for him. This is Savoy, who has 6 of his own. Down to Rivera, a little trip. This is now Bradshear in the lane with the spin. Rivera tried to put it in, but can't. Rowe with the rebound. Over to Savoy. Savoy gonna try to drive in, can't quite hold on, and that's Thomas over to Turner. And now this is Hahn, and now Turner able to get across half court, picks up his dribble really fast. This is Quinn for 3, can't hit it. Hahn with the rebound though, and that's gonna be a foul on Rivera. Hahn was ready to go right back up with that one. For Daniel Rivera, that's his second foul. You can take a look at it here. A great rebound by Hahn, and then Rivera just getting all of the arm. So now Rivera already with 2 fouls. This is Hahn, 3 for 5 from the free throw line yesterday. He hits that one, 1 for 1 today. Ryan Clements checks back in. Again, he was one of the 2 starting guards for the Tigers that picked up 2 fouls very early on. Chase Johnson had 2 fouls within the first about 3 minutes. Clements picked up his first 2 in the first 5. So now with 6:13 to go, Clements has checked into the game, and now this is Thompson. Down to Hahn on the low block, can't get there, but Clements picks it up, back to Hahn, and a foul. Daniel Rivera might have 3. And it is going to be on Daniel Rivera, so very quickly Coach Shuck has to figure out what to do because Rivera with 3 fouls. That puts Ryan Clements on the line. He was perfect yesterday. Clements an 80% free throw shooter. Made the first one, tie it up at 27. Now 5 for 6 on the season. You see Clements, the freshman from Conyers, Georgia, went to the Peachtree Academy for high school, and he hits both of them. Hampton-Sydney back in the lead. Rivera checks out. Coming in is Craig Schaub. So again, Schaub, 13 points yesterday, already 8 in this one. Bradshear picked up his dribble, then had to give it to Schaub. This is over to Rowe, who's going to take the 3. That was down and out, but a great play by Bradshear to be there and put it right back in. This is Clements, who's going to give it down to Hahn. Hahn gets across half court with 21 to go on the shot clock. This is Clements calling for a Hahn screen. He gets it. Plays off the screen over to Turner. Quinn down low to Wyatt. Wyatt going to turn around, take the shot on Schaub, and that's in. 10 points for Jack Wyatt. This is out to Simmons, and he traveled. 30-29 Hampton-Sydney, under 5 to go. As it has really been back and forth. Big story is foul trouble now for both teams. We see 3 of the starters for Pfeiffer about to come in, and a great pass from Hahn to Wyatt, who puts that one in. 12 points in the first half for Jack Wyatt. This is Simmons over to Rowe, open for 3, that's in. Tie game at 32. And a full timeout for Pfeiffer. As you take a look at that Jack Wyatt turnaround shot. That was points 11 and 12 for him.
Through the whole application process, Dr. Bradney was really helpful about getting me through the process and everything like that. So it made it super easy to make a decision to come here to Lynchburg, and I've loved it ever since. Some of my favorite things are just how hands-on the classes are and just being able to do things with my classmates and ask my professors any questions and just go into clinicals and how hands-on it is there as well. They're always around, so it's not like they're strangers or anything like that, and they always just say that their office is open just to come by and even chat about life or anything else going on. It doesn't even have to be school related, so they're kind of just there as mentors and teachers as well, so it's kind of really nice to be able to work with them in that way rather than just as seeing them as teachers.
Welcome back. There you see Jack Wyatt and Jamal David, our 2 players to watch, and for Jack Wyatt, definitely showing out. David checks into the ball game off of that timeout from Coach Shuck, as well as the rest of the starters for Pfeiffer. And then taking a fall is Kevin Quinn, and Jamal Dean will be charged with his 2nd personal foul. So again, foul trouble now for top players on each team. Of course, Jamal David averaging 13 a game for the Falcons. So 1-1 here for Kevin Quinn. Didn't shoot any free throws yesterday. First one here is good. Hasn't shot a free throw all year, so 1 for 1 on the year. See a good shot there of David talking to the referee, and then Kevin Quinn, 2 for 2, 100% on free throws on the season. This is Abington. Fake the 3, down to Scott. This is out to Saab. Saab thought about the 3, didn't take it, and then that's going to be a block on Tyler Thomas. That's going to send Saab to the line. Saab was 2 for 3 from the free throw line yesterday. Those were his first 3 free throws of the year. There you see it. First free throw is good for Saab. That's going to put him at 9 points, which leads the Falcons. His 10th point, if this is in, ties the game, and it does. So 4 for 5 on free throws on the season for Saab. As we have a tie game with 4 minutes to go in the first half. This is Hahn off the mark. Wyatt with the rebound, puts it back up. Hahn gets the rebound there, and that's going to be a foul on Abington. And so Abington now 2 fouls. That'll put Jake Hahn on the line. Remember, coming up at halftime, the schedule, as well as who Wayne Proffitt is, so everyone knows why we have this classic tournament. And then some numbers at the break. Hahn flanks the first one off the back iron. Hahn now 2 for 3 in the game. This one gives the Tigers the lead. This is Miller. Over to Abington. Back to Miller. Over to Saab. And this is down to Scott for 2. Pfeiffer now in the lead, 36-35. This is Turner. Thomas drives in, and a travel. Held on to that a little bit too long and then couldn't stop the feet when he needed to. So a turnover there for Hampton-Sydney with 3:16 to go in the first half. Miller down the court. Abington, no thought about it, didn't need to as he sinks the long 3. His first 3 of the game, and now Clements over to Hahn, who gives it to Quinn, down to Wyatt, and then Thomas, right place, right time. That's the second time he's done that today. Pfeiffer not being able to account for him, and then Saab on the other end of the court answers. 41-37. This is Clements. Takes the screen from Hahn, steps up, takes the shot, that's in. And they're gonna say that David wasn't behind the line when he passed it, which looks like they've done that several times. And they finally get caught, so Clements passes in to Wyatt. Great defense by Scott, but it doesn't matter. Quinn gonna spot up, take the shot, and tie the game. So very quickly, but now Scott on the other end, just as quick and one. Quinn and Clements getting into it on the court, but for Quinn, his first foul of the game. I'm sorry, his second foul of the game. And that gives Sean Scott an and one, and you see it right there, clear as day. Ganbold checks in, as well as Atwood, as Scott's first shot is off. Now Hampton-Sydney in the double bonus, which means any foul from here on gives Pfeiffer 2 fouls. That's a Clement shot, that's in. Again, another tie game. Trying to find Scott, can he keep it in? No, he can't, he stepped out. Just a little too much on that pass. Neither team being able to take much of a commanding lead, and that's gonna be a block there on Gabe Miller. His first foul of the game, but that puts Hampton-Sydney now in the double bonus, so any foul from here on out, 2 shots. Again, Ryan Clements, 4 for 4 in the game yesterday, 2 for 2 today. Hits that one to give the Tigers a 1-point lead. 9 points for Clements. Coach Shuck gonna make an adjustment, sinks that one. And then Talon Rowe checks in for Jamal David. Abington, the inbound to Miller. 45-43. And another long 3 for Abington. Josiah Abington, 6 points on 2 long 3s. And now Ganbold wide open. Not anymore, gonna dribble Can't find anybody to pass to, and then an offensive 3 seconds in the lane. So Ganbold had a second to maybe do something, and then the Pfeiffer Falcons swarm in, finding Schaub open, and that's in. 49-45, 15 points in the first half for Craig Saab. This is Clements gonna drive in, finds Wyatt, and then Clements with the charge. Negating Wyatt's point, Ryan Clements now with 3 fouls in the first half. He immediately checks out. Tyler Thomas checks in, but you see it there. A great job by Sean Scott to have his feet set. And Coach Kimbrough's team in trouble. This is Abington again, 3 for 3. Abington feeling it from that exact spot. 3 straight threes. 52-45 with under 30 to play in the first half. This is down to Hahn, but they're gonna say that Miller had a hand on him. So that'll put Hahn on the line. For Gabe Miller, that's 2 fouls. Haviland and Turner getting ready to check in for the Tigers. 22.1 to go in the first half. Hahn's first free throw is good. He now has 7. Like I said, Haviland and Turner are gonna check in. You have to think that no matter what happens, the team that gets either the rebound, the team that gets the rebound is gonna hold for last shot. Checking in for the first time, Miles Harris. Didn't play at all yesterday, the freshman from Virginia Beach. He checks in for the last 22.1. In half number 1, Miller picks it up off the ground, slips a little bit, gives it to Rowe. Rowe gonna drive, stop, back to Miller. 11 to go, now under 10. Miller gonna drive out to Scott, perfect play, 2 more points. And with 2-1, Turner has to take it, and off the mark. At halftime, Pfeiffer leads Hampton-Sydney 54-47. Be sure to join us at halftime in a few minutes here on LHSN.
Through the whole application process, Dr. Bradney was really helpful about getting me through the process and everything like that. So it made it super easy to make a decision to come here to Lynchburg, and I've loved it ever since. Some of my favorite things are just how hands-on the classes are and just being able to do things with my classmates and ask my professors any questions and just go into clinicals and how hands-on it is there as well. They're always around, so it's not like they're strangers or anything like that, and they always just say that their office is open just to come by and even chat about life or anything else going on. And it doesn't even have to be school related, so they're kind of just there as mentors and teachers as well, so it's kind of really nice to be able to work with them in that way rather than just as seeing them as teachers.
Here's to life and here's to Lynchburg, to the years we spent together. I don't know when or how we gathered, but I know I'm home.
I'm Matt Newton, assistant women's soccer coach, and you're watching LHSN.
The If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what, like they will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It brings us all together as one.
Welcome back here. It is halftime of Game 3 of the Wayne Proffitt Classic. Pfeiffer with a 54-47 lead on Hampton-Sydney. Welcome back high atop Wayne Proffitt Court. I'm Anthony McAvoy again with you here. And in this game, it's been back and forth, neither team being able to establish much of a dominance on either team. This lead of 7 at halftime, the largest for either team. Now, the main trouble for both teams at the moment is foul trouble. Multiple players with 3 fouls or 2 big players for each team. So both teams going to have to figure out how to work around that in the second half. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Here they are. As you see, this is Hahn getting big and putting it in for the first points of the game. And then a steal by Clements, and he goes all the way coast to coast for the dunk. And then this is Johnson getting stolen there by Craig Saab, and he answers with a dunk. Saab, 15 points in the first half. And then another steal. This is Scott, and he lays that one in. And then this is Miller. Miller going to drive in, pass over to Scott again. A perfect play for Pfeiffer. We're going to come back in a few minutes, and when we see you the next time, we're going to answer, who is Wayne Proffitt?
Through the whole application process, Dr. Bradney was really helpful about getting me through the process and everything like that. So it made it super easy to make a decision to come here to Lynchburg, and I've loved it ever since. Some of my favorite things are just how hands-on the classes are and just being able to do things with my classmates and ask my professors any questions and just go into clinicals and how hands-on it is there as well. They're always around, so it's not like they're strangers or anything like that, and they always just say that their office is open just to come by and even chat about life or anything else going on. And it doesn't even have to be school related. So they're kind of just there as mentors and teachers as well. So it's kind of really nice to be able to work with them in that way rather than just as seeing them as teachers.
Here's to life and here's to Lynchburg, to the years we spent together. I don't know when or how we gathered, but I know I'm home.
I'm Matt Newton, assistant women's soccer coach, and you're watching LHSN.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what, like they will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It brings us all together as one.
Welcome back, and let's take a look at the weekend update for the Wayne Proffitt Classic. As you know, yesterday, Hampton-Sydney and Methodist playing a very tight game, 74-69. And then Lynchburg and Pfeiffer, records broken in that game. Theron Suggs dropping 50 points to will the Hornets back for a 91-80 victory. And then you're watching this one at halftime, 54-47. And then today at 3 p.m., if you check in on ESPN, you will see the final game of the Wayne Proffitt Classic between Lynchburg and Methodist. Now, who is Wayne Proffitt? We have this classic for him. There you see his jersey right there. He was an All-American. He had 1,842 points at Lynchburg. He was a two-time All-American, and then he had 249 wins as a coach. A very prolific person for Lynchburg College, now the University of Lynchburg, and the court is named after him very fittingly. We're going to take a break, and when we see you the next time, we're going to do At the Break numbers here on LHSN.
At Lynchburg, we don't fear change. We embrace it. In our students, on our campus, in our community, and around the world. We're building on our legacy of always moving forward. It's the same place, with a new name. Welcome to the University of Lynchburg.
Green. Vanilla. Clothes. Strawberries. Summer. Dogs. Carrots. Army. Sweet. Lions. Superman. There you go, I don't know.
Hi, Mara Willis. How are you? Pretty good.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on or what you believe. You leave here better than what you came in. It's what this school's really good at doing.
Okay. You're good.
See you later.
Do you hear about the new corduroy pillows? They're making headlines.
When I found out my toaster wasn't waterproof, I was shocked.
What is invisible? It smells like carrots.
What?
Rabbit shorts.
What's Michelle Obama's favorite vegetable? Broccoli.
How does Darth Vader know what Luke Skywalker was getting for Christmas? He felt his presence.
How many kids with ADD does it take to change a light bulb? Let's go ride bikes.
that one is...
Welcome back. Let's take a look at our top players of the half. There you see Craig Sabb, 15 points, 5 steals, leading the way in the game for points scored for either team. Now on the other side of that, not far behind him, Mr. Jack Wyatt. He was our player to watch at the beginning of yesterday's game, the beginning of this game. He's showing why. 12 points, 3 rebounds. Really a big part for this Hampton-Sydney team in the second half. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have the tip-off here of half number 2 on LHSN. This is welcome back, and had a few fans ask me about if I was the guy in the commercials. And yes, I am the guy in that commercial that you just watched, in any video of a guy running needlessly and saying this is LHSN. Yes, that is me. But nevertheless, we have a game on our hands. 54-47. Pfeiffer up on Hampden-Sydney. 60% from the field is Hampton-Sydney. Pfeiffer 57%, but you see a foul by Jack Wyatt. Sorry, that was Abington. That's Abington's third of the game. Abington 9 points. He was 3 for 6 from the field. All of his shots have been from 3. That was a Johnson pass to Clements. It didn't work, and then this is an alley-oop to Jamal David. A beautiful play. You don't see that often in Division III, but a beautiful alley-oop to Jamal David. Abington checks out. Taylon Rowe steps in. For Hampton-Sydney, they have 3 guys out there with 2 or more fouls. That's one of them. Johnson, who just passed it to Wyatt, who almost put that in, but this is Rowe with the rebound. Trying to find a follower, but nobody found him. And then wide open, Rowe off the side of the backboard. That's one of the hardest threes you can take. As you can tell, there's no backboard on that shot, so it's either hitting the rim going in or you're airballing it. And a foul there by Craig Sabb. And the good thing for Coach Shuck is that's only Sabb's first foul. This is Quinn. Over to Hahn. This is Wyatt. Over to Clements. Wyatt setting a good screen there, and that allowed Clements to use the backboard. For Clements, that's his 12th point of the ball game. This is David spins, takes the fadeaway shot, and nothing but net. 58-49. David, 8 points now in the game. This is Wyatt. Jump step there, couldn't get it to go. A rebound by David. Beautiful pass over to Scott, that's in. 12 points, Sean Scott. And Pfeiffer starting off hot in half number 2. Under 18 to go, Johnson over to Clements. Gives it to Wyatt. He's going to spot up and take the 3, and that's in. (60-52). Wyatt now with 15 points, and it's going to be a full timeout. So we're going to take a timeout as well. Under 18 to go here on LHSN. Welcome back. There you see some members of the Lynchburg women's basketball team. They were playing in Georgia yesterday. They came out victorious in their game against Decatur. Meanwhile, that man right there just hit a 3 to bring this back to a single-digit game. And this is Miller. Over to Rowe, couldn't handle it. He was ready to take that before he could. You gotta remember, you gotta catch it first. This is Hahn. Over to Johnson. It went off of Miller. That's why Johnson was allowed to touch it once it crossed. Johnson from far away. He hits that one. 6 points now for Chase Johnson. And a foul's going to be called there on Wyatt. David drove in. And for Wyatt, that's his second foul. He didn't really agree with the call. David 5 for 5 now on free throw attempts. He has 9 points. You see the replay of it here. I'm not quite sure. Looked like Wyatt could have gotten the ball, but it also looked like he could have gotten the arm. So 6 for 6 from the line for Jamal David. 10 points now. And it's going to be a foul on Miller. On the defensive side, his third. Looks like they're calling flagrant foul. This is Quinn. So Quinn gets possession. Again, Hampton-Sydney. This is now Clements driving in. Quinn for 3. He hits it. And just like that, Hampton-Sydney only down 3. This is David. Thought about it. Stutter step, but didn't take it. Rowe's going to take that one, though, off the mark. Rebounded by Wyatt. So very quickly, Hampton-Sydney back, and now it's a 1-point game. This is David. He's going to take the 3 off the mark. Wyatt, another rebound. This is over to Clements. This is Johnson. He's wide open, going to take the long 3 and hits it. Hampton-Sydney back on top. Chase Johnson, 9 points. And he hit that one from downtown Lynchburg. A 30-second timeout, so we're going to stay here. And Coach Shuck's team, who was just up almost double digits, now down 2. It started with that play right there to Hahn that made it a 3-point game. I'm sorry, a 2-point game, and then Johnson taking the lead there. Hampton-Sydney feeling it in half number 2. As you see, Coach Kimbrough there, again, his first season as head coach, trying to find his first win at the helm of the Tigers. He played at Guilford College for 4 years, had a fantastic record, going 48-10 in his final 2 seasons as a junior and a senior. Then he coached at Guilford College for 6 years, 1 year at Washington and Lee, and then went to Huntington College and became an assistant coach. They went winless until Christmas when Kimbrough took over and won two games. And then the next year, a little bit better. The next year, a little bit better. And then last year, 13-13, 10-8 in the conference. It was Huntington's best record in 10 years. And Hampton-Sydney brought him over to try and change what has been going on there for years. Their 19th head coach. But there you saw Ty Simmons make a 3 to put the Falcons back on top. Buckle in, folks. This is going to be how it is the rest of the game. This is Johnson trying to find some space. Can't, thought about the 3, brought it back down. Pass inside to Haviland, who gives it to Johnson and 1. 11 points now for Chase Johnson, and a beautiful pass back to Johnson from Haviland as there was nobody in the lane to contest him. And now Chase Johnson, his first free throw of the game. Ty actually gives the Tigers a 2-point lead, 12 points for the senior. This is over to Savoy. He hit a long one in the first half, and he just hit another one. 68-67. This is Thomas. Being guarded by Ty Simmons. Over to Hahn. Hahn makes a move on Savoy, backs him down, under the rim, off the mark, and then rebounded by Haviland, who puts it back in. But Hahn grabs the rebound and gives Hampton-Sydney a 1-point lead. Down to Simmons. This is over to Bradshear. Rivera with 3 fouls now driving in. Backs down, finds some space off the mark, but Bradshear with the rebound and back in. Pfeiffer back on top. Johnson now across half court. He's gonna spot up and take another one off the mark, and rebounded by Reagan Larson, and then out of the reach of Jerome Savoy. A turnover from Pfeiffer. Wyatt and Atwood check in for the Tigers. 70-69, Pfeiffer leads. Under 15 to go, almost 14 minutes left in this second half. This is Johnson. Gets his screen from Wyatt. Wyatt not able to handle the pass. And now a turnover from Larson. Hampton-Sydney content and not playing fast, which is exactly how Pfeiffer wants to play. Slowing it down on their offensive end. This is Johnson. Thomas. Almost stolen by Rivera. Down low, trying to find Hahn, and it's going to go off of DJ Bradshear. Sub will come in. That's going to be Craig Saab. He's checking in for Larson. Johnson to inbound it. Atwood completely by himself, but a foul called on the inbound. And for Rivera, 4 fouls now. With still 13 minutes to go, Jamal David steps in. Haviland and Clements just checked into the game for Hampton-Sydney. Under the basket, that's a block by David, and then almost turned over. This is Simmons for 3, hits it. A 4-point game. This is Johnson on the other end. Hampton-Sydney trying to continue to keep it close. This is Wyatt, thought about the 3, drives in, and that's in. Wyatt, 17 points, and that Saab was open now to Simmons for 3 again, off the mark, rebounded by Haviland, and he gives it to Clements. Over to Johnson, who was open, decided to bring it back down, and that's a turnover. Wyatt couldn't handle it. Simmons now down the court. This is out. Over to Bradshear for 3. That's off the mark. Ryan Clements with the rebound. And that'll be a foul on Savoy. That's Savoy's second of the game. Quinn checks in for Johnson. And for Pfeiffer, very different from the first half. Hampton-Sydney coming out and committing most of the fouls. Now 5 team fouls already for the Falcons. Haviland checks this in to Wyatt, and then trying to get it to Haviland again. He does, now back down to Wyatt. Dean on him, and Wyatt ties the game with his 19th point. Savoy tries to drive in, and that's going to be a travel as he went up and down. Nobody making contact with the ball, so Savoy didn't put it up, which makes it a travel. Haviland checks out, Hahn checks in. Savoy also coming out with Gabe Miller coming back into the game. This is Atwood. Over to Quinn for three. Off the mark, rebounded. That's going to be a foul, it looks like, on Jack Wyatt. It is, and for Wyatt, his third foul of the game. And now you got to be careful. Wyatt saying, I'm fine. It looks like they're going to put Haviland in at the next dead ball. Saab steps back, finds some room, doesn't shoot it. This is David now. David finds the space, steps back, takes it off the mark. Rebounded by Hahn. Quinn was a little slow to get up on that one. Hahn alone down low, and he puts it in. 21 points for the big man. And that's a block on Atwood. So 21 points, as they're gonna deem that a shooting foul. 21 points for Jack Wyatt. He had 22 in the season opener against Averett. Yesterday he had 19. This is Simmons taking the free throws. That's off the mark. Haviland checks in for Wyatt. Johnson checks in for Quinn. 75-73, Hampton-Sydney lead. Under 11 and a half to go. Simmons, he's a 66.7% free throw shooter, and he splits. He goes 1 for 2 from the line on that try. Now Johnson, who just checked back in, he's got 12 points to match the number on his jersey. This is over to Atwood, who's going to take a long three off the mark. And nobody there for Hampton-Sydney to rebound. Miller takes it. A little Tony Parker-esque teardrop, and that's off the mark. Atwood with the rebound. Clements over to Johnson. This is Hahn, gonna drive in. Finds space and one! That's Jack Hahn. 14 points for him. DJ Bradshear, the one that committed the foul, his first of the game, but take a look at it. Hahn strong to the dish. And in. So for Hahn, 4 for 6 from the line in the first half. These are his first 2 attempts in half number 2. Actually, his first attempt in half number 2. As that one's off the mark, he's now 4 for 7. And now Pfeiffer wants to go quickly. Bradshear not able to collect that one. Went in to the photographers sitting down there for LHSN. You see members of the men's basketball team, and they want to remind you to follow us on social media at Lynchburg Sports. And that is the handle for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. See a look at both huddles. 77-74 is the score. It was very close throughout the entire first half. And there again, the women's basketball team, the Vetter Twins, Aaron Green, Alyssa Smalls. But again, 77-74, the score here. Again, it was 54-47 at halftime. Now Hampton-Sydney has scored 30 points already. These teams already over 30 points scored in this second half. A lot of offense here. Johnson takes the step back shot. That's off the mark. Saab brings it down, and now he's bringing it down the court. He's going to take it, try and go coast to coast, and he does. 77-76. This is Ganbold now, going to cross up in the middle. And his teardrop shot goes in. 5 points for Ganbold, and then Scott. Sean Scott with 14 in the game. 79-78. These guys trying to see how high the scoreboards in Turner Gymnasium can go. And there's going to be a foul there. Looks to be on Hahn. For Hahn, that'll be his first foul. Wyatt will now check in. As you see there, the little push off on Saab. So Hahn checks out. Jack Wyatt checks in. And Miller brings it down the court, back out to Saab. Thought about shooting it, shot fake, now into the middle. And that's a foul, and one. That looks to be on Wyatt again. But it's actually going to be on Ryan Clements. And that'll be his fourth foul of the game. So not good here. Clements, who has 12 points, one of the leaders in that front court. Saab sinks that one, 81-79 now. Saab now has 20 points, and that's off the mark, out of play. Johnson telling his team, calm down, we're not done, we're not out of this. It's only a 2-point game. You don't want to let it get too out of hand with still just under 9.5 to play. A lot of basketball. Miller to Saab. This is over to David. Don't be surprised if David just tries to shoot the three here. He tried to, and then had to pass out of it. Saab, though, will take the step-back jumper. 22 points for Craig Saab. This is over to Clements. 5 seconds to get it across the line. They do. This is Clements going to spot up, take the three off the mark. Wyatt not being able to get to the rebound. And this is Abington who does. Abington just coming back in. He had 3 fouls at the beginning of the second half. He's now back in the game, and he might almost. He shot from that exact same spot as David shoots it and hits it, 86-79. Jamal David, 13 points now. And a timeout called by Hampton-Sydney. It'll be a full timeout, and we're going to take a break here on LHSN. enjoying the action. There are more fans that were in attendance for this game right now than there were for the first game yesterday. Some loyal fans. There you see the half-by-half totals, 32 points scored by each team in this second half after Pfeiffer led 54-47 at halftime, and now we have an 86-79 lead with under 9 to go, under 8.5. Actually, this is over to Quinn now. And Hahn down low, can't get it to go. And then Clements battles for the rebound, takes it, and then scores. 14 for Clements. And now Saab wide open for three, air ball there. And now Miller, who was open for three, gives it to David, who's also open for three. And he sinks that, 16 for David, 89-81. Clements over to Hahn. And that's going to be a charge. Offensive foul, no basket. Jake Hahn with his second foul. Take a look at it here. Hahn, Scott just getting his feet set. Looked like it was kind of close. But nevertheless, Pfeiffer doesn't allow a point and can now continue to work on offense. This is over to Abington, who shoots for three, and that's good. Josiah Abington, 12 points on 4 three-pointers, 92-81. Clements trying to bring it back to a single-digit lead, but can't. This is over to David, who's going to take it for three off the mark. This is Wyatt. And Wyatt wisely calls a timeout. A 30-second timeout called here. Pfeiffer up now 11 after that shot right there by Jamal David, all by himself, and then Josiah Abington right before that. Coach Shuck trying to get his boys to the finish line. Don't want to go 0-2 in a weekend like this, especially after the game that Pfeiffer had last night. Again, like I said in the pregame, they were up 30-13 in the first half on Lynchburg, and then Theron Suggs goes off for 50 points. And then for Hampton-Sydney on the other side of that, they had an 11-point lead at halftime of their game against Methodist yesterday. Ended up squandering that lead with a lot of turnovers in the second half to find themselves on the losing end. Now both teams again trying to avoid going 0-2 in a tournament-style weekend, as it looks like they're trying to fix the shot clock. Everything good. And now with 6:46 to go, Clements ready to inbound it. Hahn collects the inbound, gonna go up strong, can't get it to go. Wyatt almost grabbed the rebound, and then Hahn grabbed it, but there's gonna be a foul called. It looked like potentially on David. Let's take another look at that one. Hahn grabbed it, and then it looked like it might be on Miller. Referee's gonna talk to the table, and it's gonna be on number 11, Gabe Miller, his third of the game. Jake Hahn, again, 4 for 7 from the free throw line today. Everything vitally important for Hampton-Sydney on offense right now with the way that Pfeiffer is playing. You have to make these opportunities. Hahn makes the first one to knock it down to a 10-point game. (92-82). Referee making sure everything is good down there between Wyatt and David. That'll be an interesting battle if this were to miss. The two biggest bodies on the court. And Hahn misses, and David prevails on the rebound. This is Saab getting past Turner, trying to dribble out of trouble, makes everybody miss. Miller can't handle it. Abington from the other side off the mark. Turner just able to collect it. It's a pass over to Hahn, who gives it to Clements. Under 6.5 to go in this game 3 of the Wayne Proffitt Classic. Wyatt thought about the three, drives inside, gave it to Quinn, who takes the three but then sidesteps. Clements almost able to put that in off the tap, but not able to. Meanwhile, Gabe Miller down the floor, thought about passing it over to Saab, gave it to Abington, who gives it back to Miller. Miller over to Saab. And it's going to be a timeout called by Pfeiffer. It'll be a full timeout. And we'll be right back here on LHSN.
Hi, Mara Willis. How are you? Pretty good.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on.
Welcome back. There you
or
see
what
the
you believe.
LHSN photography and social media crew as they're having a good time right under the near baseline and just outside of the camera view there. 92-82, under 6 to go as Saab tries to make a move in the lane. This is Brad Shear who just takes the shot, and then Turner collects the rebound. Turner gives it to Clements after not figuring he'd be able to get past Saab. Now Turner's going to make a move into the lane, and he's fouled. Just off the mark. Clements needing to be careful. He does have 4 fouls. And it's going to be on Sean Scott. Scott, it's only his first foul of the game. But Clements in the first half, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, now 5 for 5. This is now a single-digit game, 9-point differential. Clements to go 6 for 6 from the line, and he does. Give that man 16 points in the ball game. Yesterday, Clements had 8. So doubled his production today, and they've needed it in a big way. This is over to David. Gonna make a move, get into the lane. He misses it, but it's gonna be on Quinn. David not happy. He knew that should have been an and one. And they're actually going to give that to Jack Wyatt. And for Wyatt, that's his 4th foul of the game. And so with 5:52 to go, you have to think Wyatt, that's in now. 17 points for David. Turner checks out, Atwood checks in, but now if you're Jack Wyatt, you have to have in the back of your head, if I get called again, I'm out of the game. David misses his first shot from the free throw line of the game, leaving him at 17 points. Hahn gets it across half court. Not a lot of places to go. Pfeiffer thinking that Clements stepped on the half court line. He didn't, or he was deemed that he didn't, and that goes off the face of Craig Saab. Clements will now pass it in. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock for the Tigers. This is over to Atwood, who's going to take it, but his foot was out of bounds. So Hampton-Sydney needing that, as Haviland's going to check in for Wyatt. Atwood checks out, Turner checks in. Turner didn't get that much of a break. Abington checks it in to Miller. Miller, a little toss over to Abington. Abington threatened to shoot it. Hahn stepped up and didn't allow that to happen. And now Abington threatened to shoot it again. This is over to Miller, and Miller traveled. And just like that, Jack Wyatt checks into the game. He took a defensive possession off. You may see that happen for the rest of the game. Wyatt checked out on defense and then checked right back in on offense. Don't be surprised if that happens to avoid Wyatt from getting a fourth foul on the defensive side, and that's a blocking foul on Abington. For him, that'll be his fourth. And one here for Hahn. Again, Abington up to 4 fouls. So many people in foul trouble in this game. Didn't know if we were going to see some of them for a lot of the second half. Hahn misses the front end of a 1-and-1. This is David. 4 minutes to go. Pfeiffer up 93-86. And he throws that one, wanted it to go to Miller, and then out of play. And just like that, like I said, Jack Wyatt now checks back into the ball game after not playing on defense. You're almost going to need a defensive foul by Pfeiffer almost every time to make that happen. Or a score, potentially. Clements going to drive in. Quinn going to take the shot and makes it 93-88. Wyatt now has to play on the defensive side. If you're Pfeiffer, you have to realize that. You may want to drive in low. Over to Abington, who sinks the three. 15 for Josiah Abington. The clock's still running, 96-88. This is over to Hahn. Hahn gonna drive in, spins over to Wyatt. Wyatt right under the basket. Easy work for him. 96-90 with 3:04 to go and a timeout. Full timeout called by Hampton-Sydney. We're gonna take a break here on LHSN. Welcome back here. There you see some of the Methodist team. They have a game coming up here. Supposed to be at the top of the hour, but at 2:45, we still have 3 minutes, 4 seconds to go in a game that could potentially go a little further. Neither team yet in the double bonus. 96-90, 3 minutes to go in this one. Turner poked that away from Saab very quickly. Abington trying to extend the lead, and then an offensive foul. Actually, no, a defensive foul on Haviland, his third. And again, Wyatt's going to check in as well as Atwood. Atwood, what I would call a three-point specialist, and we know what Jack Wyatt is. He's been doing it all game, a monster under the basket. 23 points for Jack Wyatt today. Now he's sitting on 4 fouls. So we have to be careful the rest of the game. Nobody to pass to. And Hahn trying to get the ball across half court. This quick pass to Clements, and that's a charge. Another offensive foul for Hampton-Sydney. And it's like they keep shooting themselves in the foot. Now Clements with 4 fouls, and very quickly Wyatt checked out on the defensive side. Haviland checks back in, and a great job by Scott there to have both of his feet set. 2:36 to go in regulation of a 2-score game. This is Saab. Driving in, down to Scott, over to Miller, who was open for 3. Abington also open for 3, decided to keep it down. David over to Abington, who takes the long 3 off the mark. This is Hahn. It's exactly the shots you need to force if you're Hampton-Sydney. This is over to Turner. Turner with 2 minutes to go, trying to find an opening. He does, and that's in! 4-point game for Hampton-Sydney. Wyatt continues to sit on the bench for right now. You have to think the next dead ball, he's coming in. This is over to Saab. Abington to David. David not afraid to take a shot like this, and he might do it. Sizing up Quinn, takes the spin. The shot is in and one. And the shimmy. Jamal David. The shot and foul. And they're going to call it on Clements, which means Clements is fouled out of the game. So Ryan Clements, the freshman, is fouled out of the game. The score is 98-94, 1:36 to go. You have to think Jack Wyatt's coming into the game. Now you're going to see a conversation between the referees. Potentially may not have been a foul on Clements. If we could take a look at the foul again. Reminder that next on ESPN, the Lynchburg men's basketball team will host Methodist in Game 4 of the Wayne Proffitt Classic. Let's take another look at the replay here. This is definitely a foul on Kyle Quinn. Clements not even near the play. Clements nowhere near the play. This should not be his 5th foul. This should be Kyle Quinn's 3rd foul. And they do get the correction. So Kyle Clements does not have 5 fouls. Kevin Quinn with 3 fouls now. So Clements will stay in the ball game. Wyatt will check in. And regardless, Jamal David is still shooting an and one. There's one free throw that still has yet to be shot. But there was the foul issue that needed to be addressed. Coach Kimbrough looking on now, his team down 6, potentially about to be 7, as Jamal David's only missed one free throw all day, and he's not going to miss that one. 18 points for Jamal David, 99-92. This is a quick shot by Quinn and in! 99-95, a minute and 25 to go. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a fun one at the end. This is Miller, a minute 15 to go. This is over to Scott. 14 to go on the shot clock. Abington might pull it, he doesn't. Over to Saab. 1:05 to go, under 10 on the shot clock. Trying to get it to Miller. Over to Abington, he's going to take the three off the mark. Almost a foul by Clements, but there, Shaw puts it in, 101-95. For Saab, 24 points. Jack Wyatt not in the ballgame. Actually, Wyatt is. A nice pass from Saab and a foul from behind from Atwood. Pfeiffer in the double bonus. This will be 2. With 45 seconds left, 101-95 is the score. These games never disappoint. Two teams that rarely play each other. So much on the line. Again, both of these teams are winless. And you never want to go into a classic and have a winless outcome. Hampton-Sydney and Pfeiffer both trying to avoid that same outcome. Saab hits both of them. Now a timeout called by Hampton-Sydney. 26 points for Saab. 103-95 the score. We'll be right back here on LHSN. Welcome back again. There you see two of the Methodist players. Now you're looking at the Pfeiffer bench. Methodist, again, will play the University of Lynchburg in Game 4 of the Wayne Proffitt Classic. That game will be on ESPN. So if you want to watch that game, you have to move to ESPN. You have to go to watch and search Lynchburg, and it'll be there, I promise. Now, we got to get to the end of this one. 45.9 to go. Pfeiffer up 103-95, and what a way to start the day. A full day of basketball yesterday, a full day of basketball today, and 103-95, not usually a score you'd see in college, but it's happening right now, and we're all along for the same ride as Atwood clanks the three off the front iron, and that's a foul, an intentional foul by Jack Wyatt. He's done. 5 fouls for Wyatt. He finishes with 23 points on the day. Wyatt thinking he only had 4. So they're going to have to bring him in. Clements also has 4, so you have to watch out who you foul or who you have making these intentional fouls. Of course, from now on, Hampton-Sydney only going to intentionally foul on the defensive side. Turner is going to check in. Chase Turner will check in, and this will be Jamal David. He's only missed 1 free throw all day. He makes the first one to put him at 19. and make it a 104-95 game. Jamal David hits the second one, 105-95, 34 seconds to go in regulation. Clement brings it to the rack, puts it in, 97-105, and this will be a quick foul. 25.5 to go. Quinn with his 4th foul of the game. Actually, his 4th foul of the game. Wyatt, of course, just checked out as he fouled out, and Jamal David with 20 points already. Again, only missed 1 free throw all day. Misses his 2nd free throw of the day to keep it at 105-97. If you're Hampton-Sydney, you need quick points, and you need David to miss both of these. He needs to miss this one. He doesn't. He makes the second one. Still a 9-point game at 106-97. You have to get it in. This is now Clement. He's going to run. He's going to sprint across half court. Out to Hahn. They need a 3. Out to Clements. He's going to take the 3. Can he hit it? He can't. And that's rebounded by Saab. And there's a foul. So Craig Saab will be the one to take free throws. Kevin Quinn just fouled out of the ball game. He finishes with 13 points after only having 2 yesterday, but Craig Saab, who already has 26 and will be our player of the game, makes the second one to put him at 27. Craig Saab, there you go. You see him. $27 now for Saab, going for 28 and to extend the lead to 11. 108-97, 15.2 to go. Good pass there to Hahn, not going to mean too much. It's now a 9-point game. And Saab, they're just going to let it go. 108-99, the final score. Pfeiffer, after falling yesterday in heartbreaking fashion to a record breaker, wins today and puts 108 on the board. Coming up next will be the University of Lynchburg and Methodist University to close out the Wayne Proffitt Classic. Our player of the game, of course, Craig Saab, 28 points. And be sure to join us for that game. Move over to ESPN. Again, we're going to take a look at some highlights from all of us here at LHSN. I'm Anthony McAvoy, wishing all of you a blessed Sunday, and God bless